Have you ever found yourself scrolling through YouTube, watching someone passionately share their niche interest, maybe their unique skill, or even just their daily life, and thought, could I actually do that?
Yeah.
Could I turn my passion into something that, earns money? Could I become a YouTuber?
Oh, absolutely. It's a dream that feels, well, both really exciting and, let's be honest, a little bit mysterious.
Yeah, like how does it really work?
Exactly. We often see the polished end result, the creators with huge followings, the viral videos, the big brand deals, and it's easy to feel like getting started is, I don't know, impossibly hard.
Especially if you're starting small, maybe in a specific place like Singapore, on a tight budget. What does that beginning actually look like?
That's precisely the curtain we're pulling back today. Our deep dive is based on this really fascinating, candid account from a small Singaporean YouTuber. He runs the Satisfy Personal Finance channel.
And he just openly shares his personal journey. Like
Yeah.
everything.
Everything. His initial expenses or lack thereof, the challenges, what he actually earned, the sheer effort involved. It's a rare kind of unfiltered look at the practical side of things.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack that. The practical realities of starting to earn money on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll look at the specific milestones you need to hit, the true costs involved, and the mindset you probably need, all through the lens of someone who genuinely started from pretty much nothing and, made it happen in Singapore.
Seeing what it really takes, not just the highlight reel.
Exactly. Shifting from just a hobby to actually being a monetized creator.
And what it takes often starts with clearing some very specific hurdles, doesn't it? Like YouTube doesn't just hand out cash from day one.
No, definitely not. You have to prove yourself first. It's like gaining access to a new club or something.
Yeah, a club with rules.
Right. And the main rules to even begin monetizing through Google Ads are pretty clear. YouTube sets two non-negotiable thresholds.
Okay, what are they?
You need to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
And you also need to accumulate 4,000 watch hours within a 12-month period.
4,000 hours of people watching your stuff.
Wow. Those are the magic numbers. They unlock the door to potential ad revenue.
And for this YouTuber, hitting those numbers really felt like a big deal, didn't it? Like a psychological hurdle.
Yeah, he called it a true rite of passage for new creators. It's that moment you've built enough of an audience, generated enough actual watching time for YouTube to say, okay, you're legit, let's talk money.
It sounds simple on paper, but yeah, I can see how that marks a huge shift.
Totally. And what's also fascinating is just how little it can cost to start. This YouTuber really emphasized the incredibly low initial cost.
He basically started with almost no dedicated YouTube expenses, right? Which kind of shatters that myth that you need thousands of dollars in gear.
Completely. He proved it. He literally used his trusty old iPhone 11 Pro.
Which is already how old?
3 years old at the time. And he had a phone stand that was just a free gift he found lying around.
Okay, so truly scraping by. What else?
And a ring light he bought for about $12.
$12?
Yeah. And he even joked that it might just make his eye circles more prominent. So, maybe not the best investment in terms of flattering light.
I think we can all relate to those questionable budget buys when you're starting something new.
He definitely embraced that shoestring budget thing. But as he kept creating, he did hit a point where one significant investment became, well, pretty much necessary, not just a nice to have.
Okay. The upgrade point, what was it?
This was his M1 MacBook Air. Cost him slightly above $1,000.
Right, the M1 chip. And why was that so crucial?
Because his previous laptop, a 12-inch MacBook from 2017, just wasn't cutting it for video editing anymore.
Yeah, how bad was it?
He said it would take him more than 15 minutes just to export a 10-minute video.
Oof. 15 minutes just waiting for it to finish rendering. That's painful.
Exactly. Imagine doing that every week. Or more often. The time just drains away. It's frustrating.
So the M1 MacBook Air was the solution. Faster processing, right?
Massively faster. That M1 chip really was a game changer for video stuff.
Yeah.
It turned potentially hours of waiting into minutes. It wasn't just a new computer. It was an investment in getting his time back.
A bottleneck solution.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It let him keep uploading consistently.
Right. It shows that while you can start cheap, efficiency often demands, a strategic upgrade down the line.
And software. Did he have to shell out for expensive editing programs?
He was clever there, too. He used the free demo version of Final Cut Pro.
Oh, yeah. How long did that last?
A full 90 days. And then apparently he ingeniously reset it on his new computer for another 90 days.
Resourceful. Okay.
And for thumbnails, those little preview images, he used some free graphic designer software he already knew, something like Adobe Illustrator.
So you're keeping those costs right down.
Oh, yeah. And of course, we can't forget the personal grooming budget. Hair wax. He mentioned it costs $12 per bottle and lasts about a year.
Okay. Got to look presentable on camera. It's a real, if small, expense.
Exactly. So the main takeaway here seems pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's very, very low cost to enter the YouTube game. You really can start with what you have.
Correct.
But if you get serious, if you want to upload quality stuff consistently without, tearing your hair out waiting for exports.
And that strategic upgrade, probably for editing power, becomes almost inevitable. It's moving from can I do this to can I do this efficiently?
Precisely.
Okay, so shifting from setup to the actual journey. The timeline he shared is really interesting. When did he actually start the channel?
His channel officially kicked off on 24th August.
And he got a bit of a head start, didn't he, from an existing community?
Yeah, he mentioned getting a nice boost from my Telegram group, drew in 40 plus to 50 people on the first day, and then 100 in about 5 days.
Which is definitely helpful. Many people start from absolute zero. Makes you wonder how much harder that is.
For sure. But even with that initial boost, hitting those official monetization thresholds, the 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours, it still took time.
How long?
He hit his first 1,000 subscribers around mid-December.
Okay, so August, September, October, November, mid-December. About 4 months.
Roughly, yeah. And then he achieved the crucial 4,000 watch hours and actually got monetized on 29th December. So just under the wire for the end of the year.
Wow, so roughly 4 months in of consistent weekly uploads to hit monetization. That's actually pretty decent for a small channel.
It is, especially juggling other things. His current subscriber count, by the way, is more than 1,500.
But what's really insightful is his perspective on what matters. He stressed that subscribers is really not the game of YouTube.
Right. What's the real goal then?
He says it's as many views and watch hours as possible. He even pointed out that having loads of followers but hardly any views is actually worse.
Because that engagement, those watch hours, that's what actually drives potential earnings and tells YouTube your content is keeping people interested. Vanity metrics don't pay the bills.
Speaking of paying bills, when he finally got monetized, what did those initial earnings look like? Was it champagne and caviar time?
Not quite. On his very first day of monetization, December 29th, he earned a grand total of $3.67. Okay.
Wow. And the second day, $5.37. It's a very vivid picture, isn't it? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's literally pocket change at the start.
Absolutely. So what about his first full month, from late December to late January?
His total earnings for that first month were $160.58.
Okay, $160. Still not life-changing, but it's real money. Generated from something he's presumably passionate about, it gives a concrete number for people starting out.
Definitely. And he also detailed how earnings fluctuate day to day, typically ranging from, say, $2 to $8 on average.
But with spikes. Yeah, noticeable spikes when new videos drop.
Yeah.
Like his best day in that first month was almost $12, driven by a video on insurance.
Interesting. And later,
In February, he had a new high of $13.78 from a video about, I think, Apple and Tesla stocks. So you see that direct link. New content equals a little earning bump.
so what was the overall picture for that initial period?
From 29th December to 9th February, which is about 44 days, he earned $223.16,
Which averages out to
about $5 per day.
$5 a day.
And he quipped it was not too bad, enough to buy my Thai fun and a drink,
Yeah.
which I love. It's such a grounded, relatable way to look at those early wins.
Yeah, it keeps it real. That $5 a day, that $160 a month, maybe that's enough motivation to keep going initially.
And putting that income into perspective, he viewed that $150 a month as not too bad for a start. He even compared it, saying it was like 15% of $1,000 relative to his previous earnings as a financial advisor and IFA.
Ah, so he has a benchmark in mind.
Yeah, his ultimate aim is to reach $1,000 a month from YouTube to match those previous earnings, but as a side hustle this time, which is a common goal, right? Turning the passion project into a significant income stream eventually.
Definitely. So if you're thinking about the potential earnings, it helps to understand how YouTube actually calculates what you get paid, right?
Right.
You mentioned CPM and RPM.
Yeah, crucial metrics. CPM, cost per mil, that's how much advertisers are willing to pay per 1,000 ad impressions on your videos.
But that's not what the creator gets.
No. Then there's RPM, revenue per mil. That's how much the creator actually pockets after YouTube takes its cut, usually around 45%.
The topic matters a lot here.
Hugely. Finance topics like his tend to have a higher CPM. Advertisers pay more. He had one video with a CPM of about $28.
Wow. Okay, and the RPM on that?
The RPM for that specific video was $17.86 per 1,000 views. So he got almost $18 for every 1,000 views on that particular piece of content, which is pretty good for certain niches.
But here's the kicker. The reality check on effort versus reward that really makes you stop and think.
What?
He spent more than 10 hours making one video, 2 hours filming, 8 to 10 hours editing.
Okay.
And from about 3,500 views, that video earned him $11.40.
$11?
Yeah.
For over 10 hours of work?
Yeah. When you crunch the numbers, that's about $1 per hour. Less than minimum wage in many places.
Wow. That really hits home, doesn't it? If the direct ad money is potentially that low per hour at the start, what keeps someone going?
Exactly. It hammers home the point that YouTube is not big bucks overnight for most people.
It is very much a long game rather than overnight success. He said it took him 4 months before I could get monetized.
And even after making more than 30 videos, each taking almost 10 hours,
Yeah.
that first month was only $160.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If the immediate financial return is so low, why bother? Is it just pure passion, or is there a bigger picture?
What do you think?
I think it has to be a mix. Probably starts with passion, right? The joy of creating, sharing, building that community. But for those who stick with it, I suspect it evolves. They start seeing the channel as more than just ad revenue.
Like an asset.
Yeah, exactly. Building a brand, establishing yourself as an expert, maybe generating leads for something else, or opening doors to sponsorships later on. That initial dollar an hour isn't the end goal. It's the price of admission for building something potentially much bigger.
And speaking of other income, he wasn't just relying on AdSense, was he?
No, and that's smart. He's wisely exploring other ways to supplement his income, which is pretty crucial for most creators, especially early on.
What else is he doing?
He's already done sponsored videos, at least one so far,
Yeah.
and he also uses affiliate links and things like referral incentives.
Right, so multiple streams.
Exactly. And those streams mean he has definitely earned more than $160 in the past 6 months from all his YouTube-related activities combined. It helps supplement my income and pay off bills.
It really highlights how creators need to build like an ecosystem around their channel, not just rely on ads.
Totally. And he also talked about celebrating those small wins. That initial $160, well, not huge, maybe it covered a specific bill or bought something tangible. He said it helped to fit this one.
That validation, knowing the effort can lead to some result, however small at first, that's powerful motivation.
Absolutely. So if someone listening is thinking about jumping in, what does this all boil down to? What do you really need?
He distilled it down pretty simply. 2 core things to avoid burnout and find some success.
Okay.
Perseverance and interest in making YouTube videos. He sees YouTube, like his website, as a hobby that thankfully also makes some money.
So intrinsic motivation comes first. You have to actually enjoy the process.
Seems like it. And for finding your niche, he suggests having a genuine interest in the subject matter. Don't just pick something because you think it's popular.
Makes sense. You'll burn out fast otherwise.
Right. And beyond that, find a niche that appeals to people. Maybe you're super entertaining, or your lifestyle is interesting for vlogging, or, like him, you have real expertise in something specific, like finance. Find that sweet spot between your passion and what an audience wants.
Which raises a big question for people starting totally fresh without that existing Telegram group he had. Can you still make it?
He thinks so. He acknowledged his boost, but pointed out it still took time to hit 1,000 subs. He said, you will need some amount of perseverance and determination if you were to start from zero.
But it's not impossible.
Definitely not, according to him. He quickly added, it's not impossible, saying, so many people I know on the YouTube space have made it big, and they all started from 0 subscribers.
That's encouraging. It's a testament to consistency, quality, and just grinding it out until your audience finds you.
So let's recap this deep dive. We've really unpacked the journey of monetizing YouTube, specifically through this Singaporean creator's lens.
Yeah, we've seen the specific thresholds, 1K subs, 4K watch hours, the surprisingly low initial costs, but also that crucial equipment upgrade point for editing.
We've looked at the real, often modest early earnings. The significant time investment, that dollar an hour Reality check.
And the importance of diversifying income beyond just ads, sponsorships, affiliates, turning it into a more multifaceted thing.
Which brings it back to you, the listener. What are your interests? Your passions? What's a topic you could just talk about for hours?
Or what expertise do you have that maybe others could benefit from hearing about? What unique angle could you bring?
Because this deep dive makes it pretty clear YouTube monetization is possible, even starting small in a place like Singapore. But it is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Not at all. It demands more than just a casual interest. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Requires consistent effort, genuine interest, especially when the initial financial returns might be, well, small.
So the final question for you is, are you driven enough by that passion, by that interest, to embrace the long game? To potentially start a side hustle, even if the first earnings are just enough to cover, like you said, a Thai fun and a drink?
Yeah. What would be your Thai fun and a drink equivalent? What small reward would make that initial effort, those first 10-hour videos for maybe $10, feel worth it? Something to think about.